Harden writes about those lessons and much more in his new book. It's called, listen to this title, Stay Sane in an Insane World, How to Control the Controllables and Thrive. We're happy to say that Greg Harden joins us live and in color in the studio. Good to see you, Greg Harden.
Oh, thank you so much.
We were all excited about you coming
Yes.
today. We were all talking about you before you came in a good way. Tom Brady says this, you're a progressive thinker ahead of your time. Desmond Howard says he wouldn't be a Heisman Trophy winner without you because you teach people to see beyond yourself. And you say about your book, it's not a conventional how-to book because it requires you to think. It requires you to think and read and get the best advice for yourself. And you say focus on being the best version of yourself. This is what I loved about this book so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. But we know that the phrase becoming the best version of myself has become very popular.
Yes.
But how do you do it?
Right. Yes.
And what I argue in the book and what I hope everyone will pick up from this book is to become the world's greatest expert on one subject, yourself. Because if I commit myself to knowing who I am, and if I know myself better than everybody else, I have a chance of even identifying what's working and what's not working in my attitude or my behavior.
But you know, Greg, the thing that stood out, there were many things that stood out to me, but one thing you said to Tom Brady, if you believe in yourself, doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Nate, don't you think that's
so
true?
good. It's so good.
When I read that, the hairs on the back of my neck stood
But it's hard to do
Yes.
that because, like in the book, Chapter 7, you talk about obsessing over criticism.
Yes.
And we're really good at being preoccupied with what everyone else thinks about us,
Yeah.
what everyone else says about us. And we're constantly seeking everyone else's approval, their attention, their affection, and ultimately acceptance. And what we're saying is that the secret is not a secret, and that's self-love. It's self-acceptance.
But what if we're not a good person? What if we aren't at the top of our game? What if we're not doing it right?
Ready for this?
And that their criticism is valid.
So what we're clear about and what we try to teach anyone that will listen, there's only one creature, a human being, it's the only creature that we know that can decide to be different today than they were yesterday. What other creature can do that? A dog gonna be a dog.
Right. Yeah.
Cow gonna be a cow.
Yeah.
But a human being can look in the mirror and decide to be something that they weren't yesterday.
Is there one thing, and there are so many great athletes, and when I tell you everybody at Michigan, any athlete that has come into contact, sings this man's praises.
Yeah, I believe it.
Is there one commonality, though, that you see a thread between all of these athletes that have such greatness?
Whoa, be
That's a
careful
good
what
question.
you're asking. Because in the book, you will discover that one of the consistent themes when we see people who are going to the top of their game, and I'm not just talking about athletes,
Yeah, it doesn't
Yes.
matter. Yeah.
but they are not only hungry,
Yes.
they're humble. Hungry and humble. I want it so bad, but I am willing and able and committed to learning from others.
Yeah.
And being coachable.
Asking
Being
for help.
coachable.
Come on, they're coachable.
Greg, you say when fear and self-doubt are predictable, they are manageable.
That's good.
I think that's very powerful, too. What do you mean?
The greatest enemy you have ever faced. The greatest enemy. I don't even know these people.
Well, you know me.
I tell you, the greatest enemy you've ever faced is fear and self-doubt.
Yes.
Nobody can jump on you like fear and self-doubt. And so what we're talking about is being able to predict that fear is predictable. And we begin to normalize the concept of being afraid. So instead of people saying, well, you should be fearless, you should stop being afraid, I say, stop being afraid.
Of being afraid.
Yeah.
Think about that just for a moment.
Yeah.
You
How
say you
important-
tell people to be perfect, and I went, huh? Huh?
Chase perfection.
Yeah.
I love perfectionists. A whole lot of my colleagues and people say, oh, he's a perfectionist, she's a perfectionist. Of course they are. But if they're serious about being a perfectionist, they have to pursue harmony.
But
Yeah.
They
don't
need
expect
to
it.
understand I'm yin and yang.
We could
I'm
talk to you all
order
day,
and
Greg.
chaos.
We really could, Greg Harden. We thank you so much. The computer's going to shut us off. But thank you for coming. The name of the book is Stay Sane in an Insane World. It's available tomorrow, wherever you like to buy your books.